chilling, loading up my wagon, getting ready to go to work, and I'm just scrolling and I see that Hoonigan filed for bankruptcy. That's crazy. And the number is wild. $1.75 billion. $1.75 billion. How? That's crazy. Like, how do you get $1.75 billion in debt? That's wild. That's diabolical, man. Now I understand that, I guess, during the time Will Pros acquired a bunch of companies, and all the companies, including Hoonigan, which they acquired, is a grand total of the $1.75 billion in debt that they got. So it's not completely responsible on Hoonigan. So what I think is that the owner of Will Pros was a fanboy of all these companies, and he bought all these companies because he had all the money, and he didn't know what to do with them. And you know what I'm saying? You see where they at now. So I think that's what happened with that. But as far as the Hoonigan side, I work there. I'm working there, and honestly, money up there wasn't an issue at Hoonigan. Like, it wasn't. Like, one thing that people used to say, it was like a joke. People were like, it's monopoly money. People used to really treat the money at Hoonigan like it was monopoly money. From buying cars to projects to just spending money. You know what I'm saying? Every time that we shot something, we always went over budget. There was never a time where we shot something and we were within budget. So I can see how that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shoot a bunch of things, like the Polaris project or this other project or whatever. You got a budget, and then we always go over budget. You got a bunch of PAs you gotta pay. You got a bunch of cameramen you gotta pay. You got a bunch of stuff you gotta pay when it comes to that. Every day, they paid for our lunch. It was over, I don't know, I would say at least 30 employees. So when you have 30 employees, you pay for everybody's lunch every day. I remember sometimes, I used to go get lunch for us. So I remember it'd be like $1,000, $500, $400 daily on lunch. So you got 30 days in a month. That's $30,000 a month just on lunch. So run that up for a couple of years, $30,000 a month just for lunch. Then events, crafty, and then think about the events. When you do these events, you have these people come down, these people bring their cars. You're paying for the travel for their cars. You're paying for gas for their cars for the travel to get down here. You're paying for a hotel when they get down here. So you're also paying the guests to come. That's costly. Then you have over 20 editors, or whatever, 15, maybe 12 now, and you're not putting out that much content, and you're just paying these people a salary. Then you have all these people in high positions, and they just getting paid whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? Then I remember there was a situation up there where we brought a host up there, and they was paying their rent. So you bring an extra host up there, and you paying their rent, you doing all this. I mean, come on now. What do you think is gonna happen to a company at some point? You paying $500 to $1,000 lunches every day. You hiring people and just paying them whatever they want. Like, how much you want a year? You want 120, 150, 200,000, 300,000 a year? You're paying people whatever salaries that you want. You're paying people rent. Like, you buying crazy cars, you're doing crazy projects. You built the War Hall. I would think we would make money off of that one, see, because when I read up in the whatever's going on right now with the bankruptcy, the Chapter 11, it said one of the main reasons why the bankruptcy is going on is because, well, on the Hoonigan side, because the price of aluminum spiked during the pandemic. Okay, aluminum didn't go up that much, number one. Number two, we took out a PPE loan for the pandemic. And during the pandemic, everybody was watching TV, YouTube, all that. So our views was crazy. Our views was up. We actually did good. So we actually got a PPE loan for boost. And on top of that, our views was up because of the pandemic. And then we did home merchants, so everybody was shooting at home, which I was a part of. So where is the money being lost? Being lost at? And merch was still selling. Things were still cracking. So I don't see how a pandemic could have hurt the company. So yeah, this versus that came, and it did good. It was a good show. It was dope. We had all the matchups. You know what I'm saying? It was cracking. It was a good show. But the views was good. Everything was good. But then
I feel like the company lost interest in all the other shows. You know what I'm saying? We had Garage, Build Breakdown, Build and Battle, whatever that was called, Home Wrenchers. Like, they dropped the ball in every other show and just focused on this versus that because the views was there, which I feel lost the core audience. You know? And yeah, it was getting good views, but like I said, the core audience wanted to see the behind the scenes stuff. So at that point, I feel like people started to catch on. But like I said, the views was good, everything was good, and rest in peace to great Ken Block. Every time the views would go down, he would repost it, and then they would go right back up. So that was the formula. Repost this versus that every time it's doing bad, and the views go back up, and cool. We get our million, no problems. Everybody go home, we good. Oh, we did what, 200,000, 100,000 reposts, up to 1 million, next one. And then, like I said, man, at some point, the core audience, they just stopped caring, man. Like, what happens to other shows? Where's everybody at? What's going on behind the scenes? And then behind the scenes, you know, it got different, man. You know, all these rules started coming in. We started getting shop rules. So people couldn't work on their cars at certain times. So during the day, you know, I might be changing oil or doing something or fixing something, and then we just record it, and then next thing you know, it's an episode. But we start making rules like you can't work on your own cars during these times, and this and that. Then that just kills the fun of it, and then people just want to work and go home. So I think once the rules start coming into play and all that start happening, the whole atmosphere changed. So then you guys got less videos, less content, and then all you got was this versus that. And I think it ran its course to where, like I said, man, the core audience was like, "We tired of this, man. What's next?" And by that time, you know, people started leaving. You know what I'm saying? People started leaving. We are where we are today. But I think when people started leaving, the first couple of people that started leaving, people started seeing the channel started sinking. So once they started seeing that the channel started sinking, what happened? They put it up for sale. So it's crazy. But then I think I look back at DC Shoes. The same thing that happened. What happened with DC Shoes? You read up the story. Look it up. Before DC Shoes was sold, they was about to go bankrupt. So what they did, they spent the last of their money. I forgot what they did. I think what show it was, what it was. They spent the last of their money, basically. They made a big impression, and another company bought them out. Went up for sale. It got bought by Will Pros. And then from there, once Will Pros bought it, then everybody else left. So it's just a chain reaction, man. You know? But it all started, I think, with the shop rules, this versus that, all the other content getting cut. And once the 1 million views hit, everybody's head got big, heads got big, egos got big, and you know, people stopped listening. Even me, I threw out some suggestions like, hey, let me build this. Let me put my 836 together. Oh, we already got 560 36s. You're just another one. Okay, whatever. Let me do my 830. Let me do this car. You know, but every time there was always something. You know what I'm saying? And not one person could help. And I'm sure I wasn't the only person that was giving suggestions. So they was on their high horse. You know what I'm saying? They got knocked off. Now we are where we are today. So I think after they seen this versus that stop doing good, a couple cast members left. They decided it's time to sell. So sold the company. The company got sold. Once the company got sold, new people came in, new rules came in, and I think the people that were still there didn't like it. What you see in the other videos, they explained when they left, why they left. They didn't like it. The rules changed, all that changed, and they didn't like it. So then they left. And then we got where we are today. But so I think their last impression was this versus that. You know, like, look, the views is good, this is good, we about to package it up and sell it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. It's crazy, man. You know, because I'm a fan. I was a fan before I was there. So to see it come to this is like, dang, man. That's wild. But I'm happy for everybody that branched off and did their own thing. I'm happy for everybody that got their own channel. Man, keep doing your thing. I subscribe to everybody's channel. I would hope y'all do the same to me. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Basically, I made this other cut of the video because I do have a part 2, which is going down, which I can tell you what happened with Compton, what happened with the reason of moving out of Compton and all that. So, subscribe, like, you know what I'm saying? Watch your boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep giving y'all these stories. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it needs to be told. Me, I don't need nobody to work on my car. I don't need no favors. I don't need nothing. So, I can speak. You know what I'm saying? It's different for me. But, yeah, man, like I said, like, subscribe, and I'll tell you part 2, what went down in Compton, and we'll go from there, you know what I'm saying? And then I think I'm going to do like just a 2-part series of this, and then we'll go from there.